I'm N.S. Lavanya, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KC's Kasinadar College of Arts and Science. In this video, let's have a look at Tudor England. The Tudors are the most famous English royal dynasty. Their name remains at the forefront of European history. The Tudors, Henry VII, his son, Henry VIII, and his three children, Edward VI, Mary, and Elizabeth, only broken by the 9-day rule of Lady Jane Grey, comprise two of England's most famous monarchs and three of the most highly regarded, each with plenty of fascinating, sometimes inscrutable personality. The Tudors are also important for their actions as much as their reputations. They ruled England during the era when Western Europe moved from the medieval to the early modern. They instituted changes in government administration, relationship between crown and people. They also oversaw a golden age of English writing and exploration. They represent both a golden age and an era of infamy, one of the most divisive families in Europe. Origin of the Tudors. The history of the Tudors can be traced back to the 13th century, but their rise to prominence began in the 15th. Owen Tudor, a Welsh landowner, fought in the armies of King Henry V of England. When Henry died, Owen married the widow Catherine of Valois and then fought in the service of her son Henry VI. At this time, England became divided by a struggle for the English throne between two dynasties, Lancastrian and York, called the Wars of the Roses. Owen was one of Henry VI's Lancastrians. After the Battle of Mortimer's Cross, a Yorkist victory, Owen was executed. Taking the throne, Owen's son Edmund was rewarded for his family service by being raised to the Earl of Richmond by Henry VI. Edmund married Margaret Beaufort, great-granddaughter of John of Gaunt, son of King Edward III. Edmund's only child, Henry Tudor, led a rebellion against King Richard III and defeated him at Bosworth Field, taking the throne himself as a descendant of Edward III. Henry VII, married the heir to the House of York, effectively ending the Wars of the Roses. There would be other rebels, but Henry stayed. Henry VII. Henry defeated Richard III. He gained parliamentary approval and married a member of his rival family. He took part in diplomatic negotiations to secure his position, increasing royal administrative control. He began using the Star Chamber in Westminster Palace to hear cases and appeals to provide people with access to justice. Henry VIII. Henry VIII is best known for his 6 wives, the result of a desperate drive to produce healthy male heirs to carry the Tudor dynasty forward. Another consequence of this need was the English Reformation, as Henry split the English Church away from the Pope and Catholicism in order to divorce. Henry's reign also saw the emergence of the Royal Navy as a powerful force, changes in government which bound the monarch tighter to Parliament, and perhaps the apogee of personal rule in England. He was succeeded by his only surviving son, Edward VI. Edward VI inherited the throne as a boy and died only 6 years later. His reign was dominated by 2 ruling councillors, Edward Seymour and then John Dudley. They carried on the Protestant Reformation, but Edward's strong Protestant faith has led to speculation would have carried things further. He is the great in English history and could have changed the future of the nation in remarkable ways, such was the era. Lady Jane Grey. She is a great tragic figure of the Tudor era. Due to the machinations of John Dudley, Edward VI was initially succeeded by Lady Jane Grey. Mary, although Catholic, had far greater support, and Lady Jane's supporters swiftly changed their allegiances. She was executed in 1554. Mary I. Mary was the first queen to rule England in her own right. On taking the throne, Mary took part in an unpopular marriage to Philip II of Spain. Her actions in bringing back the heresy laws and executing 300 Protestants earned her the nickname Bloody Mary. She was desperate for an heir, resulting in a false but very advanced pregnancy, and as a woman fighting to rule a nation broke the barriers Elizabeth later walked through. Elizabeth I, Henry VIII's youngest daughter, Elizabeth survived the plotting which threatened Mary and which in turn cast doubt on the young princess to become Queen of England. One of the nation's most highly regarded monarchs, Elizabeth returned the country to the Protestant faith, fought wars against Spain and Spanish backed forces to protect England and other Protestant nations, and cultivated a powerful image of herself as a virgin queen wedded to her nation. She remains masked to historians, her true feelings and thoughts hidden away. Conclusion: the end of the Tudor dynasty. None of Henry VIII's children had any lasting offspring of their own, and when Elizabeth first died, she was the last of the Tudor monarchs. She was followed by James Stuart from Scotland, the first of the Stuart dynasty and a descendant of Henry VIII's elder sister Margaret. Tudors passed into history, and yet they have enjoyed a considerable afterlife and remain among the most famous monarchs in the world. Thanks for watching this video.